What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today, I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this album from Turntsnaco called John. Now, I did review a project of his called Peace of Mind 2 last year, but there were some issues with that. It just wasn't very polished overall, although there were some interesting moments with the experimentation. That said, I was curious to see where he was taking his craft this time around, and while there is a slight improvement, there are still plenty of issues for me to get into later. However, I'm going to start things off by talking about the positives, including on the song M.I.A, where we get this nice, spacey production. It's also just a very short track, and even though he's not going into trust issues in any sort of extraordinary way, he still is getting introspective and letting you into his world a little bit. So I think this track was actually one of his best ones, and he does showcase some nice flows on here as well. Easily one of the standout cuts. I'm also going to throw I'm Sorry as one of my favorites. This one is a Drake-style free flow track, so as I'm describing it, you already know what you're in for, man. Some of that gentle production and some more introspection. He's actually going in about issues he has with his friends, some more trust issues, as well as trash rappers, dealing with depression, just all kinds of things happening in his life. So I think these two tracks showcase him at his best. It really shows you his potential, because even though they're nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, he pulled them off nicely and they're solid tracks. So as a rapper, I think he does pretty well on this. But when it comes to the singing and the overuse of vocal effects, that's where we get into some serious issues. There are way too many awful vocals on this, including overproduced vocal effects, and that's something that really holds this project back a lot. Myself, you guys know me, I don't mind auto-tune if it's used in a very melodic way or any interesting type of way, but on this one, it just sounds like that very cheap auto-tune. It doesn't sound good at all. So for just one example, you can check out the intro where we do get some decent bass-heavy production, but then those warbly, grating vocal effects come in and it just completely ruins the track. That was one instance where I think the singing definitely could have been improved or just taken off. You're going to hear more of this on the song Late Text, but you know what? This track is actually preceded by a little interlude called Girl from Recess, and there he's just singing in this sort of whispery style that actually works nice. I think that sounds much better than the vocal effects he's doing throughout here, so that may have been a better choice on some of these other tracks as well. On Rich is a Lie, you are getting more of these awful vocals, but I do like how he's showcasing some of his introspective and inquisitive nature, especially on that verse where he's asking all kinds of questions. So again, as a rapper, I think he does have a little bit of content here. His songwriting isn't too crazy, but that is where I hear the most potential, just in his bars and with some of the things he's saying. Just got to clean up some of those vocals, either get someone else doing them, or maybe just take some vocal effects off and do that whispery singing style, man. I thought that shit sounded dope. But to go deeper into the songwriting and topics, there really isn't a whole lot to break down here. With Jose Guapo, we do get a pretty good banger, but this one gets pretty cliche with lines like, and I quote, chain on my neck like a slave. So, you know, it has a good beat, has a lot of bump to it, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. And I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but that's one of the main issues here. There isn't anything here that's overly unique or really going to give you something exceptional. So, you know, there's a couple issues here. You also get some relationships-based content on Lies Part 2 and I Can't Deal With You, John. And these tracks have some nice beats on them, man. Really, I think the production throughout this is pretty solid. There really weren't a lot of beats on this that I thought were awful. So those were a couple of standout moments production-wise. But again, you're getting some bad singing on these tracks, man. I feel like a broken record in this review, but it's just because I have to make the same points over and over. It's the same issues that are popping up on some of these tracks. So, you know, some decent beats on those. I got to give that to them. And if anything, the song Unconditionally is one of the best relationships-based tracks. This one has some nice flows on it and also some more beautiful sample-based production, as well as a sample on the hook, which definitely works better than those bad vocals. So, you know, there is potential here. I am still going to go with a 2 out of 5 like I did with its last project, because there's not enough for me to give this a 2.5, man. The vocals are just so bad throughout this thing. I think his songwriting could go a bit deeper, because even though he does have some nice topics and content, he's not really delivering them in any overly intriguing way. So, you know, there is potential here for sure, but cleaning up some of those issues would go a long way, and that's just my opinion. But you guys can check this one out for yourself and then hit me up in the comment section with your thoughts. And of course, man, check me out on all my social media and sites so you can show me love and show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.